Hey everybody, it's Teresa. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to make a necklace today, and I'm going to use some of the beads that came in the most recent Curated bead box. It's called Ponds and Lilypads. I'll put a link in the corner of this video and in the description box below to the unboxing video I did for this subscription in case you want to watch it, where I go over everything that came in the box. It's $20 a month, and that includes shipping. I have a coupon code. It's Teresa35, and I'll put it on the screen here and in the description box below, along with a link to the page to sign up for the subscription if you're interested. The coupon will save you 35% off your first box if you sign up. And here I have the 10mm malachite gemstone beads that came in the box. And in here I've got the 8mm green gemstone beads that came in the box. It didn't say what kind of gemstone they were. Of course, I'm going to be using more than this. I've got half of my necklace already made, so this is what I need for the other half. I'm going to be using the Dragonfly pendant that came in the box. I've got a couple of, I'm using bronze findings, and I've got a couple of tiny little pieces of chain in there that I'm going to hang my Dragonfly from, and some jump rings to do that with, 4mm jump rings. And here I've got some bead caps from my stash. And here I've got some 4mm jump rings, one 8mm jump ring, a couple of pieces of chain, a little piece of chain to use as an extender, a lobster clasp, and I have a little leaf charm there that I'm going to hang off the extender chain as a dangle. I've got some pieces of 22 gauge German style wire in bronze here. I'll be using my chain nose pliers, my tweezer pliers, my flat nose pliers, my round nose pliers, both pairs of my bent chain nose pliers, the crimping pliers I use to tuck in the burrs when I cut off wire, and the cutters that I use to cut head pins and eye pins and craft wire. And I've got my little New Orleans shot glass that I'm going to put my wires in when I cut them off. I just emptied him. I think that's everything. I'll put links to everything I can find links for in the description box below that didn't come in the box. So hold on, let me get some of my beads out of the way here and I'll be back. Okay, I've got some of my beads out here now, and this is the half of my necklace I already have made. This is going to be a very monochromatic necklace. It's going to be all green to go with my green dragonfly. These are just some wire wrapped links, and I've got them connected together with jump rings, little 4mm jump rings. I usually connect wire wrapped links directly to each other, but I didn't know how I wanted to lay this out, so I just made a bunch of links and then figured it out. So I'm going to make the other half just like this half. And I usually cut about 3 or 3.5 inch pieces of wire to make these links with, but I know that wastes a lot of wire. I would like to be able to work off the spool, but I'm just not coordinated enough to be able to do that. But I think I can manage. I've got about a 7.5 inch piece of wire here, and I think I can manage with that, and I'm pretty sure I can get at least 3 links made out of that, so that'll save, because normally that would be at least 9 inches of wire I'd be using. So I think I can use this 7.5 inch piece and save on some wire. So I'm going to go to the end of my wire here, down about 1.5 inches or so, and bend over at a 90-degree angle. Take my round nose pliers and put them in the crook of the bend. Round nose pliers facing me. Bend the wire back until it hits the tool. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. Take the short piece of wire up and under here until it hits the bottom of the tool. I can get a hold of it. Okay, I'm going to kink the wire back until the loop is centered over the wire. Now I'm going to take I guess I need to zoom in a little bit. I can see better what I'm doing. I'm going to take my bent chain nose pliers and hold on to my loop. Bring this wire down a little bit. I'm going to wrap the short piece of wire around the long piece of wire about 3 times. I'm going to take my cutters, cut off this little piece of wire here. Now I forgot my bead caps. Gotta have my bead caps. So I'm going to take a bead cap, put it on here. I'm going to put one of my green gemstone beads on and another bead cap. Now I'm going to take my pliers and I'm going to go to the tip of the pliers. I'm going to bend over at a 90-degree angle. Take my round nose pliers, put them in the crook of the bend. Round nose pliers facing me. Bend the wire back until it hits the bead. Rotate the pliers so they're facing the table. Take this part under here until it hits the bottom of the tool. I'm going to kink the wire back until the loop is centered over the bead. That usually stands my little piece of wire almost straight up there. I'm going to hold on to my loop, bring this wire down, and since I have such a long piece of wire here, I'm just going to do this with my hands. I'm going to wrap about 3 times. I try to keep this wire that I'm going to keep using straight, but you want to be careful and not handle it too much, because if you handle it too much, it warms it up and it gets harder, and it can get brittle and break. So you don't want to handle any more than you have to. So now I'm going to take these crimping pliers, and I use the little half circles on each end to tuck in the burrs when I cut off wire. So I'm going to tuck in my burrs, and I wait till I get both of the loops made to do this part, because it's just easier for me if I have that bead to brace against. Now I'm going to do another one. Take the rest of my big long piece of wire here. I don't know how well y'all were able to see what I just did, because I might have been out of frame because this piece of wire is so long. So now I'm going to go down about 1.5 inches, bend over at a 90-degree angle, around those pliers and put them in the crook of the bend. Bend the wire back until it hits the tool. Rotate the pliers so they're facing the table. This part up and under here until it hits the bottom of the tool. Kink the wire back until the loop is centered over the wire. Like that. I'm going to take my bent chain nose pliers and hold on to my loop. Bring this wire down a little bit, and I don't know if I left hardly enough that time to wrap around. I think I can do it. Now I'm going to wrap the shorter piece of wire around the longer piece of wire about 3 times. I definitely did not leave as much as I normally do. I'm going to take my other pair of bent chain nose pliers and do this last little bit. Okay. Now I'm going to take my cutters and cut off this little piece of wire. I'm going to take my bead cap, one of my big malachite beads, and another bead cap. I'm going to take my pliers and go to the tip of the pliers. Bend over at a 90-degree angle. Around those pliers, put them in the crook of the bend. Bend the wire back until it hits the bead. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. Take this part under here until it hits the bottom of the tool. Kink the wire back until the loop is centered over the bead. Take my bent chain nose pliers and hold on to my loop. Bring this wire down. It's still long enough that I can do this with my hands, so I'm going to wrap it around about 3 times. I'm going to cut off this wire. I didn't cut off enough that time. I left too much there. And then I'm going to take my crimping pliers and tuck in my little burrs. I'm going to see if I can get one more out of this piece of wire here. I think I can. So I'm going to take my pliers, go down about 1.5 inches, bend the wire over at a 90-degree angle, around those pliers and put them in the crook of the bend. Bend the wire back until it hits the tool. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. Take this part under until it hits the bottom of the tool. Kink the wire back until the loop is centered over the wire. And I never do mention it, but if you want to make sure all your loops are the same size, and you have a hard time remembering where to put it around those pliers here, you can put mark it with a Sharpie or something there, wherever you would like for your loops to be, and that way you'll know where to put your wire around those pliers. I used to do that. My loop always, or my little mark always rubbed off, and I've made so many of them now that I pretty much can do it with just looking at it. But that's an easy way to make sure you make the same loops all the time, same size loops. Now I'm going to bring this little wire down, wrap the short piece of wire around the long piece of wire about 3 times. Take my cutters, cut off my extra wire. I'm going to take a bead cap, one of my malachite beads, and a bead cap. Take my pliers, go to the tip of the pliers, bend over at a 90-degree angle, around those pliers in the crook of the bend. Bend the wire back until it hits the bead. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. Take this part under here until it hits the bottom of the tool. Kink the wire back until the loop is centered over the bead. Take my bent chain nose pliers and hold on to my loop. Bring this wire down a little bit. And I don't have enough left to do this with my hands, so I'm going to do this with my other pair of bent chain nose pliers. I'm just going to start wrapping. Make sure to get that first wrap under the bottom of the loop and not over the top of the bottom of the loop. Now I'm going to cut off my extra wire. Now I'm going to take my crimping pliers and tuck in my little burrs. Now, like I said, I'm just going to connect these together with jump rings. I'll go ahead and connect the few I've got made, and then I'll just do all the rest of it off camera. So I'm going to take a little 4mm jump ring. Get a hold of it here and open it up. Take this link, connect it to this link, close my loop or my jump ring back. Make sure to get it closed back really well. I'm going to take another jump ring. Open it up, thread on this link, and add this other link. Close my jump ring back. Okay, so I've got that much of my second side made. So I'm going to finish the rest of my second side, and then when I come back, we'll put it all together. So I'll be back. Okay, I've got both sides of my necklace made here now, so I'm just going to put it together. These are about, they came out to like 8¼ inches each. These, each side did. I've got a couple little tiny little pieces of chain here. They're just not even a 1/2 inch each. And I'm going to take a 4mm jump ring. And open it up. And put my chain on here. And add it to this side of my necklace. Now I'm going to take another little 4mm jump ring and add it to this end of my chain. Thread on my Dragonfly. Close my jump ring back. Make sure to get it closed back really well. Now I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to take a 4mm jump ring. Put on my chain. Put it on this side of my necklace. I'm going to take another 4mm jump ring. Open it up. Put on this side of my chain. Put it on this side of my Dragonfly. So that's what I've got now. So now I'm going to come up here to this end and put on the rest of my findings. I've got a couple of pieces of chain. They're about 2 inches each. I'm going to take a 4mm jump ring. I think I've got a 5mm jump ring in there. And I meant to have, I don't think I even need that. That must have got in there by mistake. Take a 4mm jump ring. Open it up. Put one end of my chain on. And, oops. Wouldn't be one of my videos if I didn't drop something. At least once. I'm going to close my jump ring back really well. I'll do the same thing on this side. I'm going to take another 4mm jump ring. And put this end of my chain on. Put my lobster clasp on. And now I'm going to take my 8mm jump ring. Open it up. Put my chain on. Put my piece of extender chain on. Close it back. And now I'm going to take my flat nose pliers and open this link here at the end of my extender chain. The way this extender chain is shaped, if I try to open it with my chain nose pliers, it's always slipping on me. But I can do it with my flat nose pliers. I'm going to open that up and thread on my little leaf. Close it back up. So, that's everything, and I'm all done. And that's what I've got. Oops. Must not have got that jump ring closed well because it's come apart. That's not good. We can't have that. I should have used a bigger jump ring. There we go. Okay, there, it's closed up good now. Rather that happen now than if after I sell it to somebody or give it to somebody. So hold on, let me see if I can get all laid out and I'll be back. Okay, there's my necklace all done. Made with this beautiful patina dragonfly pendant made from the beads that came in the most recent curated bead box, the one called Ponds and Lilypads. Like I said, if you're not a subscriber to the curated bead box and you decide you want to be, that coupon code will save you 35% off your first box if you sign up. I hope y'all have enjoyed this video. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate those of you who have subscribed to my channel and watched my videos and liked and commented on my videos. I have a website where I sell my jewelry. I also sell gift cards and some extra beads and findings that I have. It's Teresa's Handmade Jewelry, and I'll put a link to it in the description box below in case you're interested, along with a link to my Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and my email. If you haven't, I'd really love it if you'd subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified when I upload a new video. So until next time, I hope y'all have a great day. Take care.